Multiple truths. That means truth ain't even true. You understand? And what is that truth? That the lost 12 tribes of Israel shall reign on earth, man. You understand me? We need hope, and we got it. Let's go.
When them warriors come out, endure to the end is for the blood of my eye.
I'm talking about
Protectors of the people, black watch.
Black Watch.
Cry out, spare not, one where's my casket drop. When them warriors come out, batch out to the fire. You a coward, you won't make it out. And fuck the Christian church, you bitches falling off. It's real together, the no finish out.
Oppression make a wise man mad, so I put on all black and I take my ass to class. I was mobbing with the gas, fringes out the window while I'm fucking up the air. Garment on my body looking like a couple vac. One West, we the motherfucking best. UPK against the world, ain't no motherfucking sweat. Israel come together, keep a shovel. White man is the devil, blaze on them UPK sweater in any weather. Told y'all bitches fuck with us and we gon' bring it back in blood. Why my cup empty, I'ma need 2 cups. Hide the strong, hide the women, UPK we won up. Ain't easy in the streets of Hebrew like me. Harassed by police, no justice, no peace. Penitentiary, drug in our community. Knee up on our neck, officer, we can't breathe. And fuck the Christian church, you bitches, white supremacy. Know I'm talking about.
When them warriors come out, endure to the end is for the blood of my eye.
I'm talking about
Protectors of the people, black watch.
Black Watch.
Cry out, spare not, one where's my casket drop. When them warriors come out, batch out to the fire. You a coward, you won't make it out. And fuck the Christian church, you bitches falling off. It's real together, the no finish out.
Hey, when the warrior come out, yeah, blade build on you, catch a sword to your mouth. There's some holes in this house, all I smell is straight pussy boy stuck up on the couch. Lot of talk, lot of hate, oh no, we not alike. I was born with a chopper, told a tiger with the stripes. Hey, use a zebra cake, girl, oh coon ass full of oppressors more than yours. I'ma kick that shit one west, fringes on my fucking vest, spikes all up on my head with that shit around my neck. I got some bad bitches too, I ain't focused on them hoes, all I want is my doubloons. Boots laced to the ground while you laced off some drugs. Using easy ass kill cause you're so emotional and impeccable with it. Your lifestyle is unacceptable living. Sorry baby, but these boys gotta hit us. I'm going to camp and I'll be gone for a minute, you know.
When them warriors come out, endure to the end is for the blood of my eye.
I'm talking about
Protectors of the people, black watch.
Black Watch.
Cry out, spare not, one where's my casket drop. When them warriors come out, batch out to the fire. You a coward, you won't make it out. And fuck the Christian church, you bitches falling off. It's real together, the no finish out.
Shalom Israel, YAHANNA, all the brothers, Yahshua, all the sisters. All right, we got the sound good. All right, we're going to get into it. All right, again, brothers, right, like I said, Yahshua, right, may the Most High bless you, brothers, in the name of the world calls Christ, and Yahweh Shema, all you sisters, which means may the Most High watch over you and keep you in the name of who the world calls Christ. I'm Priest and Officer Sherry One under Commanding General YAHANNA, and we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. started at a 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right, today is Wednesday night law class. Wednesday night law class for brothers and sisters in Toronto, Toronto, Canada, Ontario, Canada. All right. Shout out to everybody tuned in. All right, if you're tuned in with us, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. All right, make sure we get those likes up. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters in the chat. All right, we're going to get into it. So today is Wednesday night law class. What is law class? This class is about teaching what Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans a way of life. We're giving the Constitution a governmental structure back to our people, right? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were living in the ghettos, barrios, and reservations scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And we don't have our own land. We don't have our own governing body. We don't have our own government system, right? We don't have our own dollar bill, our own land. And so as we get into today, and as we do every Wednesday, we're going to be reading out of the 1611 King James Bible, all right? And that Bible is the constitution of the Black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, woman, and child. Okay, and so those laws that we have in the Bible, unfortunately, due to different organizations and religions and philosophies of people, the Bible has a big taint on it. And a lot of people, when they hear the Bible, they think Christianity. Or when they hear the Bible, they think about that book that your grandparents or your grandma had in their house, and she was off at church every Sunday doing some kind of religious thing. When really this Bible is about a way of life for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Not just a way of life, but a way to truly treat each other properly. Right? Like the laws of Canada says, right, you'll be imprisoned if you take a man's life. Well, just like in the Bible, we have those laws and we have judgment for it. What to do if somebody breaks the law, what to do if somebody harms somebody, what kind of justice somebody should receive. We being Black, Hispanic, and Native American in Canada, we don't receive justice here. We don't receive fair treatment. And so a lot of what's going on right now, which we've been talking about in I.S.U.P.K quite a bit if you've been following along, is we got wars and wars and rumors of wars, and war is here. You understand? Like Toronto, I'm seeing all over in the newspapers, everybody talking about Israel, everybody talking about Hamas. You understand? Everybody talking about all the pains of what's going on over in Israel. And so we're going to get into a little bit about that, right? So shout out to the chat, Crocodile Teeth, right? What's going on, brother? All right. Again, if you have any questions, you can type your questions in the chat. And Lord allow, I'll do my best to get you that answer for you. If not, just stay tuned and I'll make sure I get that answer for you, where I can ask a man above me to get that answer. But in I.S.U.P.K, we answer every and all questions. We will get your questions answered. So feel free to type them in the chat. Right, we got a brother in the chat saying, "Whoa, it is said that the 3 Abrahamic books were made in that way so they can be read into to control mass populations at different times." Right? And so what you're talking about, brother, I'm assuming you're a brother, is on point in the sense of what religion has done throughout the earth. Okay? And that's a good way to start off this class, because that was a precept I was going to read anyway. There's a precept I wanted to bring out that kind of touches on that. Okay? And so I also got a video I'm going to share relating to a news article. Some of the effery Doug Ford is speaking about. Let me share my screen. See if I can get that pulled up. right? So this is in the Bible, right? The Bible says in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 27, it says, "For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil." You know what? It's crazy that this is actually in the Bible. The fact that it's telling you that the worshiping of a false god is the reason for all the evil on the earth. And so what people on the earth have gone and done, right, through things like through like the Muslim religion, right, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, they go around teaching the world a religion. They don't teach the truth of the Bible. This Bible that we have is a historical book of the records of the children of Israel. It's a book about laws, statutes, and commandments, laws and judgment on how we are to treat each other and live amongst each other in a society. This book is not a religious book. You understand? And because of these different religions, like they call those, I think, what does the world call them? The three Abrahamic faiths. They believe that the Abrahamic faith was some kind of religion, when really it was a way of life for a people and a nation of people. It was a way to live, a way to govern ourselves. Like it says in the Bible, not to rape a woman. Salaki, YouTube, don't tear us down. Not to sexually assault a woman. You understand? Not to harm women in that way. And there are judgments for it. There's punishments for it. It's the same way that the law of Canada says you're not allowed to sexually violate a person or a human being. And if you do these things, there's punishments for it. That's not religion. You understand? That is a law, and that's a judgment and a punishment for it. You understand? There's even ways to repay somebody. You understand? Like if you harm a brother and you cause him to lose some wages, in a just system, if you're in the wrong, you may have to pay that brother back and make sure that he has money to feed his family and pay his bills. And that time off that was caused to him through pain or whatever it may be, you understand? You got to repay that brother. You got to make sure he's okay. Right? Where Canada would just lock you up in a jail cell for a couple nights. Or maybe they lock you in a cell for 3 nights or 2 weeks or whatever it may be if you assault somebody. You understand? So this book that we're reading is a book of laws. It's a book of rules. And if we obey these rules, we'll have a good life. That's the life that the Most High was talking about. He told us to choose life and live it abundantly. Not to go around and kill each other and die by the age of 30 because you guys are all selling drugs to one another. Right? The Most High said he suffers not a witch to live. Don't be a drug dealer. Don't harm people, right? Don't go around with all these gang wars, shooting up each other's neighborhoods and so forth and so on. Most High wants us to have a long, abundant life, right? Live a good life, not have to walk down the street and be scared about what's going to happen to us. That's what this Bible is about. You understand? And anything outside of that is evil. Understand? For the worshiping of idols not to be named as the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. Understand? This is something that when you start buying into religions, and that's why you have things like the Catholic Church, where it's just a house, just a breeding house for child molestation. You understand? It's because of their belief system. Like Christianity, Catholicism is the proof of why you're doing the evil things that you do. You're following this way of life and you're doing it because of what you believe in. You understand? Like, what did Christ say in the New Testament? He said, "You shall know them by their fruits." You understand? The things you believe in, the way of life that you live, all the things you do in the dark, all the things that come to light. The person who you are and the person that you believe in are the fruits that you produce on earth. Your life is the way it is because of the decisions that you made, the decisions that you make. And every man and woman is going to be has to be held accountable for that. You understand? Now, in this world and in Canada, they got no problems hiding these Catholic priests and just sending them off from Ontario over to Alberta. They go and touch a young boy or molest somebody's child, they'll send them from one part of the earth to the next. Have him change his name and he'll go be some Catholic priest in another country. You understand? Canada has no problem condoning these evils. And we're going to prove that today when we get into this article. The hypocrisy of Canada. You understand? The hypocrisy of the government of Canada. Right? Specifically today, Doug Ford. All right? Let's get one more verse. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. Jeremiah 10 and verse 2 says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen." Right? This is an order from God. No Christian pastor is going to tell you this. You understand? No Muslim is going to tell you this. Right? Or none of those Jewish people following Judaism are going to say things like this to you because they believe that God loves everybody. They believe that everybody can become a Jew. Everybody can follow Judaism. Everybody can be a Muslim. Everybody can be a Christian. But the God of the Bible, the God of the Israelites, of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, he tells you, learn not the way of the heathen. You understand? Now, if those Jewish people in Israel were truly following this Bible, when it says learn not the way of the heathen, well, they would tell Asian people not to learn their customs, according to the Bible. Because if you're Asian, you shouldn't follow the way of another nation. Right? It says learn not the way of the heathen. See, when you get through this Bible, you're going to start to learn that the Most High is all about segregation and separation, right? Which is what today's class is about. Right? It says, learn not the way of the heathen and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Right? What is it to be dismayed at the signs of heaven? Right? It's to do things like look at all this different astrology we have today and think that that has some meaning. That we should give the astrology and these different signs, these Leo signs and Cancer signs and Virgo signs, some kind of life. Right? Like they have some kind of relevance in our life. Right? You're a woman out there in 2023, you're going to get ready to leave your husband because of some Virgo sign that he has, and you're thinking that you're not compatible with this man. You're going to break up a family, break up a home because you think Virgo and Leo don't go together. Right? The Most High said, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Why are the heathen dismayed at them? Because they weren't given the laws, statutes, and commandments. The heathens don't have a God. Right? Like these European people who are known as the Edomites according to the Bible, they have different gods like Zeus and Hercules. That's their gods. You understand? This is why the heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven, because they don't have a God that speaks to them. They don't have a God that has a relationship with them. You understand? The God of Israel is the only true God, the only true power. And he's not dealing with these other nations. So how could they understand the things that are going on in this world? They don't. So when you read through the Bible, all the prophets in the Bible come from the nation of Israel. You don't have prophets that are Muslim. You don't have prophets that are Asian. You don't have prophets that are African in the Bible. Every prophet in the Bible is a descendant from one of the nations of the 12 tribes of Israel. Those are the prophets in the Bible, and that's who the Most High is dealing with. All right. You understand? The brother in the chat said, meaning they're the books that are open to interpretation. Right? What does the Bible say? The Bible says there are no private interpretations. Right? You're saying meaning that they're open to the interpretation commonly used by the armies of past to conquer and control mass populations for natural resources and plunder women, land, and technology. Yeah, a lot of people have done a lot of evil things with this Bible, right? Especially the European man. The European man had blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in slavery, and he gave us parts and little pieces of the Bible. He would take out parts of the Bible that would empower us as a nation of people, and he would give us scriptures like, slaves, obey your masters. And now you have black people who are spiritual people thinking that they're pleasing their God and they're obeying their God by serving this man that's whipping them in the back. Right? You're damn right. There's been a lot of evil people who've done a lot of evil things with this Bible. Right? But in I.S.U.P.K, we teach the truth of the Bible and we follow it. Right? So let's get into this video. Right? And show Toronto some of the things Doug Ford is talking about. If you haven't watched it already, where we at? All right, so this is in the news. This is on Toronto Sun. All right, we do not own the rights to this video. I.S.U.P.K, we do not own the rights to this video. This is a video from Toronto Sun. All right, if you want to watch it for yourself, you can go to torontosun.com, check it out. All right, this is just commentary on the video. Make this full screen. All right, so we'll watch this from the beginning. Right.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. October 7th was a tragic day for Israel, for the Jewish people, for the entire peace-loving world. Each of us, we watched in horror. As children, the elderly, even Holocaust survivors were stolen, beaten, and slaughtered at the hands of Hamas. Madam Speaker, these attacks, they're not just another conflict on the other side of the world. The impact is being felt throughout the country, including Ontario. The Ottawa family of Audi Vital Capone, a 33-year-old Israeli Canadian, is reeling from her senseless murder simply because she was Jewish.
All right, so these are some of the things that Doug Ford is saying. All right, some of the things Doug Ford is saying here is You know, and as he should, his heart goes out to his people, right? Doug Ford being a European man. Well, those Jewish people who are over in Israel, they are also European. You understand? According to the Bible, their forefather goes back to Amalek, who goes back to Esau. You understand? These are all the same nations of people. Right? These are European Caucasian people. Those so-called Jewish people over there in Israel, right? And all these Russians and Polish people and Swedish people all throughout the earth. Right? They are all European. Right? The British, the English, whatever you want to call them. Right? This is Esau according to the Bible. Right? That's his history. That's his nationality. Even back to Rome. Rome was calling themselves Idumeans. Right? They understood who they were and who their forefathers were, where they descended from. You understand? And so this man right here, his heart goes out to those people, right? His heart goes out to his family, right? The European man, those Jewish people in Israel, because nobody deserves to have their life taken, right? Unnecessarily, right? Nobody who is an innocent person deserves to have their life taken. But what's crazy about this is, number one, this always gets me. Every time I hear them talking about Jewish people, they are not the true Jews according to the Bible. Like I said earlier, they're descendants from Esau, from Amalek. They are not the true Jews according to the Bible. You were to ask them, right, what tribe you descend from? They only claim 2 tribes, from my understanding. Right? Jew is a short form for Judah. They're calling themselves Jewish as if they're from the nation of Judah. And the other people that other tribe that might encompass would be the tribe of Levi. You understand? They're claiming 2 tribes. So what happened to the other 10 tribes? Right? To Manasseh, to Gad, to Reuben, to Naphtali, to Asher, to Zebulun, to Benjamin. There's 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And those European people over in Israel are claiming to be Jews, claiming to be Judah. Understand? They're claiming 2 tribes. And so as I'm listening to this man talk about all this remorse and compassion that he has on his people, I'm still sitting here in 2023 saying, where is the compassion for my people? The people whose identity was stripped away from them, whose culture was beaten out of them, whose language was beaten out of them. You had Native children in Canada in these residential schools where you were beating them in these residential schools, inside of these elementary schools. Little children saying, if you speak your native tongue, we're going to beat you. You can read about the stories on what the Canadian government and the Catholic Church did to the children of God here in Canada. The true Jews of the Bible. You understand? We had our language and our culture beaten out of us. Our identities beaten out of us. And now your people are going around as the greatest imposters on the earth. You understand? The Palestinians over there understand that. They're over there saying that the true Jews of this land, when they left here black. They left here hundreds of years ago, and they were a colored nation of people. That's what their president said. In 1948, all of a sudden, we lost all our skin tone. All of a sudden, we lost our culture and our flavor. Understand? And we turn white. When did that happen? Well, it's because the real Jews are over here scattered across the four corners of the earth in every ghetto, barrio, and reservation in North and South Central America. So as he's saying, his heart goes out to the Jewish people. They are not the true Jews. And so if you're tuned into this class, one of the first things you should take from this is you don't need to give your love to those people. You understand? You cannot love those people and have compassion and all this stuff for what's going on with them and have compassion on your people. Because those are not the true Jews that are in that land. All right, let's keep going on with this video.
By all accounts, Audie was a beautiful person with a warm soul. She was an amazing mother, 2 boys, a 4-year-old and a 4-month-old that will not have a mother now because the terrorists went and killed her. She had her whole life ahead of her, and it's so tragic and so unfair. Sadly, there are others. 6 Canadians in Israel are now confirmed dead in the Hamas attacks. 2 Canadians are still missing, and families worrying about their loved ones in Gaza. We must condemn Hamas and Hamas's heinous and terror attacks.
All right, let's pause there. So now you see these Europeans clapping on Doug Ford's speech saying, yeah, what he's saying is heavy and true. And we got to condemn the Hamas for what they're doing to those Jewish people over there. They're sitting there saying what Hamas is doing is disgusting and evil. And these are terroristic attacks that they're doing on our brothers over in Israel. And what's crazy about that statement is the Canadian government has been doing the exact same thing to the children of God here in Canada. Shoot, matter of fact, every year come Thanksgiving, Canadians give thanks to the slaughter of the North American Indians. Finally, when what started to come out about these residential schools, they're starting to try to bring awareness to Canadian citizens on the struggles of the natives in Canada. And then Canada comes up with this Indigenous Day. What is it? All Kids Matter. Right? This Orange Shirt Day where we should remember and reconcile with the natives and their struggle and everything they've gone through. You guys have that in Canada, and then 2 weeks later, go and sit down and celebrate Thanksgiving. It's disgusting. Celebrating the slaughter of all the North American Indians that took place in order to take over this land. You had over 77 million natives who lost their life. Genocide on a people. If you think the Hamas is terrorists for killing some 1,000 people, shoot, right here he's talking about 6, I think he said 6 women and children. Well, what about the genocide of an entire nation of people? because that's what his race of people did to ours. Over 77 million natives and over 90 million blacks. Just so that they could take North America. It's disgusting what these people have done to our people. And we're supposed to sit here and have compassion for them. We're supposed to sit here and worry about their war, their plight, their fights. Let's keep going.
Acts of terror that have brought turmoil to the region, acts of terror that are using innocent Palestinians as human shields. Do you believe that, Madam Speaker? They're using Palestinians as human shields to go attack Israel and kill Israelis. Disgusting. This is no excuse, no justification for the horror we've seen. This is terrorism in its darkest form. We must be clear, Israel has an absolute right to defend itself and its citizens. We must stand.
Man, do I need to go into all the horror stories of what Europeans did to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? It's calling Hamas terrorists for using people as human shields? Man, I am not condoning any kind of violence. I.S.U.P.K. does not condone violence. But what we do stand for is the right to defend ourselves. Just as Doug Ford said. And from my understanding, that's what Hamas is doing. They're over there defending themselves. Not that I'm really interested in why they're at war and what's going on with them. But from my understanding, Hamas has been defending themselves. The I.S.U.P.K, we're telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans not to take a side. You don't need to back Hamas, and you don't need to back Israel. Right? Or that state of Israel, speaking about those European people over there. What you do need to back is to give your love to your people. And that's all throughout the Bible.
Stand firm in our support for Israel and the Jewish people, both abroad and at home. Here in Ontario and across Canada, our Jewish friends and neighbors face the constant threat of violence. It's another painful reminder of the work left to do to stomp out the cancer of anti-Semitism once and for all. It's why our government is investing over $25 million through our anti-hate security and prevention grant.
Check out that. Right, that's no surprise. From my understanding, Canada's already sent $8 billion over to Ukraine in their fight. Surprise, surprise, the Canadian government is setting up $25 million in Canada towards anti-Semitism. You see, the Canadian government, they love their people. They love their family. They take care of their own. Right? You're a black man living in Lawrence Heights trying to pay your rent, getting all these different eviction notices. The government of Canada has no help for that. As far as I know, the natives on the reserves in Canada still don't have clean drinking water. They're still getting boiled water alerts. So you got $25 million to help towards anti-Semitism, but you don't got money to give people to help people get clean drinking water? Yeah. Let's pause there. I'm going to bring out a verse, right, that speaks to that topic. Where is that? That's in the book of Ecclesiasticus, I believe, chapter 13. It's 13. Let's check that out. Come on. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, starting at verse 15. And it says, every beast loveth his like. You understand? What is a beast? Every animal sticks together with their own. You understand? You walk outside, you walk through the park, you're going to see a bunch of ducks walking with ducks. You understand? Right? You're in Florida, you're walking by one of those, I don't know, one of those swamp areas. You're going to see the crocodile or the alligators with the alligators. You're going to see the snakes with the snakes, the frogs with the frogs. You understand? Every beast, every animal sticks together. You understand? The animals understand. You understand that they need to stick together. Right? How do you think all those, it's like some of those pack animals are surviving? Those hyenas, they're hunting together. Right? Those piranhas in the sea, they're hunting together. You understand? Every animal is looking out for their own. You understand? What Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans need to understand is that we need to look out for our own. You see, the European man, he loves his people, as he should. He's giving $25 million to his people, as he should. He sent over $8 billion to Ukraine to help his people, as they should. So why do you got people like Floyd Mayweather sending $400 million over to Israel? Or if that's not what he sent, maybe that was his net worth. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick. Floyd Mayweather. What's this one say? Floyd Mayweather is sending his private jet to Israel to deliver food, bulletproof vests, and other items to Israeli soldiers. All right, Slack. That wasn't 400 million. I think that was his net worth. All right, this is arguably the most successful professional fighter of all time. And he is sending resources over to Israel. You understand? Floyd Mayweather was known for setting up his own fights and his own contracts and getting paid, not having to give it out to somebody else. That brother made millions of dollars off of boxing. You understand? Very talented brother. And with all his wealth and all his talent, he's giving his resources over to the European people that oppresses his people. Right? You got brothers like Amari Stoudemire saying F his people. Saying F black people who don't support don't support those Israelis. Imagine if Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans used their resources and just gave it to their people. Imagine where we would be. Right? There's this weird theory out there that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans aren't a successful, talented people. You are dead wrong. You understand? The scriptures say that the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, are above all nations on the face of the earth. Understand? That's in the Bible. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. You look at us and you look at our talent, we have no problem making money. You understand? How many millions of dollars are brothers making just off of their shoes? off of their jersey sales, all their endorsements for Nike. Brothers are getting paid just because of the sheer talent that they have. We don't have an issue in Israel amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of getting money. What we need is to stop separating the rich from the poor. What we need to do is gather ourselves together, as it says in Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 1. We need to gather together as a nation of people and build up our own. Just like we did before when we had Black Wall Street, when we had our own black colleges, HBCUs. When segregation was here, we were flourishing as a people. That's why what Martin Luther King did for our people was such an evil thing. The philosophies of Christianity, the philosophies that Martin Luther King pushed, that somehow integration was a good thing. Well, we've integrated, and Doug Ford and the Canadian government is giving $25 million to help his people. Not all people, his people. We got to wake up and understand who our people are. What does this verse say again? We're in Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 and verse 15. It says, every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. That's a normal thing. You understand? To love your hood. How many people do you just grew up in your hood? You just love the people you grew up around. Those are your boys. That's your gang just because of the hood you grew up in. Understand? For no other rhyme or reason other than the people that you grew up with. You understand? Everybody loves his neighbor. It's a normal thing to love the people that are around you, right? To cleave to the people around you. That's a natural thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Verse 16, all flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. Like I said, that's a normal thing to cleave to your own. It's a normal thing to love your family. You understand? You know, anybody out there, you're a father, you're a mother, sister, and a brother, you love your family. You have a love for your family. You have a love for your kids. You go out the door to make money and provide for your family, for your household. Why? Because you love your family. You cleave to your like. That's a normal thing. What's not a normal thing is to go help another nation of people before helping your own. So as people like Amari Stoudemire is telling his people that we need to worry about those Israelis or those Jewish people over there in Israel, he's dead wrong for that. You understand? That's a disgusting, backwards way of thinking. To love the people that oppress you, to give your love to the people that funded the cargo slave ships. You understand? To bring you over here and enslave you for over 400 years. Those are the people you want to love? Those are the people that you need to care about and care for? According to Amari Stoudemire, that's what he'd have you believe. According to people like Martin Luther King, that's what he'd have you believe. But that's wrong according to God. That's wrong according to the Bible. You need to cleave to your own. Stick to your own. To love your own. Build up your own. You understand? And in doing so and in being in a good place as a nation, well, then maybe you can give some help and assistance to other people. Right? The I.S.U.P.K is out there every Saturday giving life and love to our people. And as we're sitting there handing out food and clothes to our people, we don't got a problem with a European man walking by getting some food. Understand? And what did that Edomite say when she was speaking to Christ? She said, even the dogs eat the crumbs off the people's table, or off the master's table. You understand? America should have an ishload of crumbs to give. And our people have accepted that. We got to rise as a people. We got to come together as a people, and we got to start loving ourselves. Start taking care of our family. Every other nation does it. Right? The verse goes on to say, verse 17, what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? Right, again, what fellowship does a wolf and a lamb have? You put a wolf and a lamb together, the wolf's going to try to eat that lamb. Right? It's just a natural way of life. What does it say in the Bible? It says that these other nations are like beasts that surround us. They devour us like sheep. You understand? Many times throughout the Bible, the children of Israel are referred to as sheep, and these other nations are devouring us. You understand? It's not a literal sense that the European man is an actual wolf or is an actual lion, and that we're literal sheep. It's a metaphor. You Christians think that flying dragons and talking snakes exist. It's called a metaphor. You understand? Just to help you understand something. That's how Black people speak. It says, what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? They don't have fellowship together. Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, you got to wake up and understand that. You don't have fellowship with these other nations. They're trying to destroy you. They're trying to eat you up and devour you, take food off your plate, take food off your family's plate. That's what they constantly do. And you're sitting there helping them out and enabling them by supporting their causes and their plights. Floyd Mayweather is sitting there sending over jets of supplies to those people. What about your people? What about the people that are right beside you? What about the hood that you grew up in? What about all those blacks in the ghettos that are struggling? The ghettos that you grew up in, where your family is, where your family grew up in and struggled. That's who you need to help. We were talking about how we want to get successful and get out the hood. What we need to do is become successful and build up our hood to make it better so that the next generation doesn't have to grow up the same way we grew up. Let's keep going. It says, what fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly. You understand? There is no fellowship with the sinner and the godly. The righteous and the unrighteous. The good and the evil. They don't go hand in hand together with each other. Right? Verse 18 says, what agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? Right? Again, it's just hammering that point home, is that segregation is good for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And what Doug Ford and the Canadian government is doing, they're right to help their people. We got to wake up and help our own people. All right, let's keep going with the video.
To address the rise of hate against religious and more minority groups, including anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, it's why our government is investing $150,000 to support the new Toronto Holocaust Museum. And it's why, through our great Minister of Education, it's why we've mandated Holocaust education in our schools.
Oh, Salaki, let me pull that back a little bit. I'm going to have to look this up. There's a Holocaust Museum. Good night.
We've mandated Holocaust education in our schools.
So the Canadian government has now mandated Holocaust. How do you say that again? Pull that back one more time.
It's why we've mandated Holocaust education in our schools.
Holocaust education. You understand? I spent some time growing up here in Canada. I moved around a little bit, but I remember in Canada, what was that book? I think it was called Anne Frank. I remember reading through that book for shoot, I don't know what school credit that was. I don't know what grade that was. But I remember learning about Anne Frank. She was some girl that had a family during the Holocaust. And they talked about all the nightmares of their people and so forth and so on. And again, what happened to her people is a disgusting and unfortunate thing. But it pales in comparison to what has happened to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. My people. When it comes to speaking about our pain, nobody wants to talk about it. I think they say in the Holocaust that something like 6 million lives were lost. I truthfully couldn't tell you the number. I have no idea. But let's say it was 6 million. That pales in comparison to over 90 million Blacks that lost their life during the transatlantic slave trade. That pales in comparison to 70 million Native Indians who have lost their life here in North America. Talking about 6 million. It's disgusting, the lack of compassion that they have for us. And every time I hear things like this, it just reminds me of how much they hate Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And so it's fine for them to talk about their people. It's fine for them to talk about their issues. But in the I.S.U.P.K, we are going to talk about our issues. We're going to talk about what goes on amongst Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we're not going to let any other nation of people come in here and dictate to us who we should speak about and who we should have compassion for. All right, let's keep going.
We cannot hope for a better future if we forget the past. And we cannot.
Shoot, I hope he remembers that. I should make that a quote. Put that up on all my social media, Instagram, Facebook. We gotta remember the past. Let's play that back one more time, Salaki. I love hearing that stuff. Because these things are so normal to, how should I say it, a healthy-minded individual. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we suffer from Stockholm syndrome. You understand? We have fallen in love with our oppressors. We have fallen in love with the people that absolutely hate us. And we believe in these philosophies like Martin Luther King and Christianity that says everybody should join together. Everybody should love each other. Love, love, love. Unity, unity, unity. What does Doug Ford say?
And we cannot hope for a better future if we lose sight of who we are and who we aspire to be. And we cannot hope for a better we cannot hope for a better future if we forget the past.
We cannot hope for a better future if we forget the past. You understand? Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, you should listen to Doug Ford. You should remember the past of your ancestors. You understand? Any single time somebody tells you that you should forget slavery, you should take that as an attack. Anytime somebody says forget about slavery, understand, Black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, you are being assaulted. You are being verbally attacked, verbally assaulted. You should never forget what has happened to your people. We got a brother, I think there's a brother in the school who's selling some, what are those, car fresheners, to remember that brother that lost his life to the police. That's what the I.S.U.P.K does. You understand? We remember all the fallen people that have lost their lives to the disgusting things that these Europeans have done to us. We remember those things in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Never forget, according to Doug Ford. I should set that up as a new meme. Slovakia. Remind every Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. These are the words of Doug Ford. Never forget.
And we cannot hope for a better future if we lose sight of who we are and who we aspire to be. No one in Ontario should ever be targeted because of their faith. No one in Ontario should ever be afraid to pray to their God. So, Madam Speaker, today I stand in this House and call on everyone in Ontario.
Man, I need to save this video right here. He's saying some gems. He's telling Canadians, you're Canadian in Ontario, you should never be afraid to practice your faith. Yeah, all you Catholic priests out there molesting those little children, you should never be afraid to practice your faith. It's disgusting, man. And do you think the Canadian government shows that same energy to the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the I.S.U.P.K? Shoot, we were on the street, what, last month? A little over a month ago? Those police were out there trying to take us off that corner. They threatened one of the officers, one of our officers in this school, to arrest him if he didn't stop his hate speech. That sounds like fear to me, Doug Ford. Sounds to me like you're saying those officers were wrong, Doug Ford. that those offers should have never tried to intimidate an officer in the I.S.U.P.K to stop his speaking. Because no man, woman, or child should be afraid to practice their faith. Shit. What Doug Ford is really saying is that if you're a European, you do whatever the hell you want. You understand? No difference than when the United States said all men are created equal. Meanwhile, have had slaves all throughout the country. These same rules don't apply to you if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American. And people want us to really worry about what's going on with them. People want us to worry about their issues and their kingdom. Our leader, Commanding General YAHANNA of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, he said, if you're a person who's struggling in this kingdom right now, you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you're struggling to pay your rent, struggling to pay your bills, what you need to understand is that you are not helping this kingdom being built up. And that's a beautiful thing. You should want this government and this structure in North America to absolutely be destroyed. And understand that it's coming. That day is coming. Justice for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is coming according to God. So to sit here and worry about their affairs is foolish. We need to build up our people. We need brothers and sisters to join the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and start putting in some work. Start putting in this work to build up our nation. Just like Christ said. He said, occupy till I come. He said, this kingdom, our kingdom, doesn't come with observation. What we need to stop doing is building up these Europeans' government and nation, and we need to start building up our own. What are people saying nowadays? Buy black. We're telling you, buy black and brown. Support Hispanics. Support blacks. Help build it because our people need it. And no other nation of people is going to help us. All right. Let's keep going with the video.
To remember who we are as a province: peaceful, tolerant, and respectful. No more than ever, Ontario's Jewish community needs our support, and I always say we will always have their backs. They need to be reminded of the best of us. They need to be reminded that there's far more that unites us than divides us. And what unites us, Madam Speaker, is rejecting brutal acts of terror from Hamas and other terrorists around the world. As we stand firm in the support of Israel, we pray for the safety of all innocent people. Hamas's, its actions, and unrelenting dedication to terror show no regard for human life, Israeli or Palestinian. Now more than ever, we wish for...
This is something that people should understand too. You got Doug Ford sitting here trying to say that we love all people, we include all people. Salakia. right? He's sitting there saying, right, we got to love all people, respect all people. We're a nation about peace, and we're about peace. We're not about, we're about love, and you know what I mean? And just accepting everybody. And that's what they like to say. You understand? And this is why it says in the book of Genesis that this man was a serpent. You understand? It says in the New Testament that he was a liar from the beginning, right? A murderer from the beginning, a liar, just full of deceit and wickedness. You understand? And so thousands of years ago, right, we refer to this man as a serpent, right? Why? Again, the Bible is not always just literal. You understand? Because just like this same man was speaking thousands of years ago with that forked tongue, right? He's doing it right now. You got to be at peace with everybody and love everybody and accept everybody and unity, unity, unity. But then he says, we got to pray for Israel. And what you don't understand is that, or if, to some people, I'm sure you're smart enough to pick that up and understand what he's really saying is, what you got to understand is with somebody's victory comes somebody's defeat. If Israel wins, that means Hamas loses. That means thousands of people in Hamas will die. And if you pray for Hamas, that means thousands of people in Israel will die. Because whoever gets the victory is the person who wins the war. You can't pray for Ukraine and pray for Russia at the same time. I remember watching the news, right? Listening to people say, pray for Ukraine, pray for Ukraine. Well, guess what? You don't think Ukraine's over in Russia bombing people in Russia? You don't think the Ukrainians are armed up going to war against Russians? Somebody's going to die. Somebody is going to lose their life. Somebody is going to lose. And from what I understand, Doug Ford, is that those people in Hamas are just defending themselves. According to the history, from what I understand, is that Hamas didn't start this war. From my understanding, just as Europeans always do, they go around and colonize the earth. That land in the state of Israel doesn't belong to you. You guys took it in 1948. It's crazy. It's like, imagine me going into your house, taking over your house, tying you up, putting you in your basement, and saying, there, you can stay down there in the basement, tied up, locked up. And I'll bring some food down every couple of days. I'll get some chicken feet, you know what I mean? I'll have my family upstairs, you know what I mean, eating some good barbecue chicken. Yeah, I'll cut the chicken feet off and I'll bring it downstairs while you're tied up. And I'll let you eat some chicken feet while I live good upstairs on your couch watching your TV. And maybe after a year, maybe I'll untie you. Maybe I'll let you loose, and now I can trust that you're not gonna, destroy anything inside of your basement. You can walk around your basement freely. That's what Europeans do. And you're sitting there saying that people have a right to defend themselves? Talking about Israel has the right to defend themselves? Negro, that ain't your house. It's crazy. And this is why the scriptures say the pride. Salaki, let me pull that verse up. Right? Because the Bible is so on point. Right. Let me drop this video. Let me pull up Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. It's crazy how these Europeans think. It's absolutely crazy. Right, this is the book of Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. See, this is what I'm looking for. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Right? This is the Bible speaking about the characteristics of Esau. You understand? These European people, they are very prideful people. You understand? That's why Doug Ford can sit up there and say, every man has a right to defend themselves, as if those Jewish people in Israel have the right to defend themselves. The Bible says the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. You guys are so prideful and puffed up that you actually believe you're defending yourselves. Sitting there in Israel in another man's house. That land don't belong to you, European man. You're in somebody else's house. And Doug Ford is sitting there thinking that they're actually in the right. No, the pride of thine heart has deceived thee. Right? It says, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You Europeans think that nobody can bring you down. Right? Shoot, let me jump down a bit. Right, verse 6. Verse 6 says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? You understand? If you're a wise brother and you had any understanding, you would understand that this is how you know who Esau is according to the Bible. You understand? There's so many different things. History, archaeology, biblical prophecy, right? All the different things that are spoken about this nation of people. That's why in the I.S.U.P.K, we say the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? It's not some cartoonish looking character with some long tail and some horns and a pitchfork. The oppressor is the absolute devil that the Bible speaks of. Devil meaning deceiver. Right? Your own pride deceives you. You go around the earth lying, you understand, on everything known to man. You're sitting there over in the land of Israel claiming to be the children of God. You're a deceiver, man. You're a liar. You're a descendant of Esau. Sitting there calling yourselves Jewish. Up down to verse 8, it says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom? Let's go verse 9, it says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. You got to understand that your future European man, oppressor, is slaughtered from the Most High. Every single one of you will be cut off. Why? Verse 10. for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Shame shall cover thee. Who's your brother Jacob? Your brother is the black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man living in the ghettos, barrios, and reservations. The true Jews according to the Bible. The people who you're going around and posturing to be. You're such a prideful race of people, and that's why the Most High has to destroy you. You're like a virus on this earth. You understand? That land of Israel does not belong to you. Right? Again, according to Doug Ford, the Hamas should have every right to defend themselves. Every man has a right to defend themselves. Well, if you come in my house and you try to lock me up and tie me up and put me in the basement, I should have the right to defend myself. Sounds like you Edomites are the terrorists. Like you Edomites are the virus. Going around killing babies, women, and children. You understand? This is your future, Esau. Yeah, it's just absolute craziness what they believe. And again, this is why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we got to gather together. You understand? Gather together. Give our love to our people, not worry about the affairs of these other nations. You understand? Just as they take care of their own, we got to take care of our own. He wants to set up all these different programs, you know what I mean, and educate the children in Canada about the Holocaust and give hundreds of thousands of dollars towards that and $25 million towards anti-Semitism in Canada and helping out Israel and all that stuff. That's good and wonderful for his people. You understand? That's exactly what they should do for their people. But understand how these oppressors spit in your face, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. They don't love you. The Bible says that they have a perpetual hatred for you. Let me pull that verse up. At Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. That's what the Bible says. Ezekiel 35 and verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. What is perpetual? Perpetual is ongoing. You understand? Ongoing, never ending. Look at how these European people have treated you. Esau has a perpetual hatred towards his brother Jacob, towards the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why he doesn't give a damn about you not having clean drinking water over on the reserves in Canada. He don't give a damn about the black man in Lawrence Heights struggling to pay his rent, struggling to pay his bills. He's going to send $8 billion over to Ukraine to help his people, his family. You understand? Because every beast loveth his like. You understand? Every nation of people stick to their own. You understand? That's how this earth works. That's how this earth runs. You understand? The lions with the lions, the hyenas with the hyenas, the dogs with the dogs. The Caucasian man sticks to his own. The Asian man you got, what's it called? You got Chinatown all over Toronto. Right in Montreal, shoot, them Asians built up their own, they got their own hospital. You understand? Just for their people. All over Toronto, you got Asian banks, understand? Specifically set up for their people. Because every beast loveth his like. But understand that this oppressor that's ruling over you, he has a perpetual hatred for you. He is never going to love you. No matter how many times you beg him to treat you good. Right? What does it say in Jeremiah? Right? We're asking for peace. He says peace, peace when there is no peace. Gives blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans a little crumb. Right? Pretending to care about you, pretending to love you. Right? But when it comes down to it, when you need help, when you need some clean drinking water, what does he say? Oh, we don't got the resources for that. What was our family out in was that Alberta? And the native that native Indian family, the children of God, the Israelites. I think it was their mother or their sister went missing over in some landfill. What did the Canadian government say? We don't have the resources to help dig up the dead body of your family member. Isn't that what the Canadian government said? Canadian government said, yeah, we're not worried about finding that dead body. It's too how did they phrase it? They said it's too much risk. We're too worried about the health and safety of our workers to go in that landfill and find the dead body of your relative. That's what the Canadian government said to you. They spit in your face publicly and privately. Meanwhile, sending $8 billion over to Ukraine. These people have a perpetual hatred for you. And we got to stop giving our love to these people. All right, let's keep going with some scriptures. Let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 20. Because not only is are these the Most High's words telling us that we need to stick to our own, but just logically, it makes so much sense. Right? What does the scripture say? The Salakia. What's that verse? Not the wisdom of this world. It's foolishness of God. What's that verse I'm thinking of? It's not the tip of my tongue. But something that we have to start doing as a people is just start using some common sense. Understand? Like it's a simple thing to understand. Oh, Slacky, what's that verse? It's a simple thing to understand that these beasts in the world stick to their own. You understand? We can see it. We visibly see that these animal groups stick together and protect each other and look out for one another. You understand? We can see these things. There's a simplicity, you understand, that we need to start understanding as a people. You understand? It's like nature and science, right? That's all throughout the Bible. We got to start using some common sense as a people to be like, man, these people really hate us. These people don't have our best interest at heart. You got Doug Ford saying that you should never forget your past. Like it's the most important thing for a people to move forward with. Never forget your past. Why are people always telling us that we need to forget slavery? It don't make no sense. We got to wake up as a people. That's why Christ said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." This is what the I.S.U.P.K has to offer people. It is the truth. You understand? Right? To wash your mind of all that nonsense that you grew up learning, thinking that these ways of life of these European people are good for us. That his ideologies and his religion is good for us. You got to get rid of all that and come back to the Bible. Come back to the truth of the Bible. To listen to what the Most High is saying. Right? What does it say in Leviticus? We're going to jump down, I think it's around verse 20. It's Leviticus 20, start at verse 23. All right, what's it say? Leviticus 20, verse 23. "And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation." Right? This is an order from God. This is a law to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. "Do not walk in the manners of the nations, which I cast out before you." Understand? There's a time where we're coming out of Egypt and we're establishing ourselves as a nation of people. And the Most High is giving us law and order and a way to conduct ourselves, a way to treat each other, treat Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. How we can set up a government and a nation and treat one another. And he's ordering us not to walk in the manners of the nations. Why? Because look at how the earth is running today. It says in the book of Proverbs, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people mourn. The whole earth is in mourning because wicked people are ruling the earth. Because the manners of these other nations are wicked. The manners of these other nations are evil. That's why the things going on in Israel and Hamas, you know what I mean, are disgusting things. We don't condone that in the I.S.U.P.K. Look for talking about Hamas using people as some meat shields for war. You understand? Like these are these wicked nations that are ruling over us. Like they're involved in all manners of evil. Ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation, which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and they're disgusting things that people are doing on this earth. Right? Look up pederasty and the Romans and the Catholic Church. Because their nation of people thought it was normal and okay for grown men to touch little boys. The Most High abhorred these things. The Most High abhorred eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Because he didn't want COVID all throughout the earth. He didn't want swine flu all throughout the earth. He didn't want people dying of all these different viruses and illnesses. That's why the Most High said, don't walk in their manners. They don't have none. They don't have any logic, any rhyme or reason. They don't have a God. They don't have a power. They don't have a moral way of living. So we shouldn't act like them. Verse 24 says, but I have said unto you, who is you? This is the nation of Israel. The Most High is telling you, not the Asians, not the Africans, not the East Indians, not Hamas, not the Jewish man. He's telling you, the children of Israel, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. You understand? The Most High wants something good for you. A land flowing with milk and honey, with rich in resources. Understand? A beautiful land to live in. A beautiful land to rule over. To raise kids and family and give an inheritance to your kids and your seed. Verse flowing with milk and honey, it says, I am the Lord your God, not everybody's God. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. You understand? The Most High is all about separation, segregation. He doesn't want you living amongst all these other nations. He wants you separated from everybody else. Verse 25 says, ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean. Understand? The Most High gave you dietary laws. You know, things that are okay to eat, things that aren't okay to eat. These other nations would have you believe it's okay to eat anything that's crawling. Right? He says, in between unclean fowls and clean. Right? Clean birds, unclean birds. And you shall not make your souls abominable by beast or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. The Most High is all about separation. There's things that are good for you, there's things that are bad for you. Right? Verse 26 says, and ye shall be holy unto me. Right? You're Christians walking around saying, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. They use that word every Sunday. They scream it, they sing it like it's the most important thing. Well, guess what? The Most High says, ye shall be holy. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. Holy means different. Holy means set apart. Holy means separate, different from everybody else. Well, ye are to be different unto the Most High. It says, for I, the Lord, am holy, because the Most High is holy. Most High is different. He's set apart. He says, and have severed you from other people. So why is Martin Luther King saying we need to integrate? Doug Ford wants every Canadian to pray for Israel. Doug Ford wants us to respect Judaism and Christianity and Islam. That we should respect all faiths. Integration, unity, melting pot. That's what these people believe in. But the Most High says he has severed you from other people. You understand? Severed. To cut, to separate. We're not supposed to be like these other people. He says that ye should be mine. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. In the I.S.U.P.K, we are severed from everybody else. From everybody else. We got the Passover coming up in April. Right? Ask your camp leaders about that. Ask a priest and officer in the I.S.U.P.K about that. Our Passover is for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This class is for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You can't come into this house being another nation of people. Because we follow the Bible and we live in the truth. You understand? We're not worried about what's going on with the Jewish man and the people in Hamas. Because that's their battle. That's their war. We love our people. People like Floyd Mayweather need to start doing the same, because we're suffering here in North America. You got a private jet going over to Israel. Why don't you send that private jet to a reserve over in Buffalo, New York? Our brothers and sisters down by the border, near Texas and Dallas, and you understand? The different areas in the states where our people are suffering. Right? Let's keep going. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 25. Right? Because I know you Christians love to say, oh, well, that's in the Old Testament. Well, let's go to the New Testament. All right, this is Matthew 25. Matthew 25 and verse will start at 31. It says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory. Who's the Son of Man? That's who the world calls Christ. YAHANNA in the Hebrew. Right? When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. Understand? That's what we're doing in the I.S.U.P.K. We're building Christ's kingdom. We're preparing something for him to come rule. Verse 32 says, and shoot, Christians, this is your beloved Jesus Christ. Martin Luther King, you should love this verse right here. This is red letter. All you Christians saying Jesus, 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 hallelujah, Jesus. Right? What do all you women say? Well, shoot, what was that video I just saw? Shoot, I saw a video on YouTube, and this brother was hitting on a woman who just came out of church. You know, just running game, spitting game. They call it nowadays bars. You know what I mean? Hitting on this beautiful daughter of Zion. Just came out of church. And what does she say to this brother? He says, I'm flattered, brother, but I'm married to Jesus. All you Christian women out there, you should absolutely love this. This is the man that you're married to. He's speaking red letter, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him. Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. Verse 32, and before him shall be gathered all nations. You Christians out there, Jesus died for all nations. Jesus loves all nations. Well, guess what? When he's here, all nations are going to be gathered before him. He's going to be sitting upon his throne in all his glory, and all these nations are going to be brought to him. It says, and he shall separate them one from another. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. That doesn't sound like integration to me. That sounds like separation. Segregation. Christ is going to separate them one from another. As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. Why? Because the Most High desires for you to be separate. Desires for all nations to be separate, segregated, severed. Verse 33, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand. You understand? The Bible, when it talks about your right hand, you want to think about your strength, right? Your right hand is typically known for being your strong hand. And Christ is going to put the sheep on his right hand. Who are the sheep in the Bible? The sheep is the nation of Israel, the scattered sheep. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are in the ghettos, barrios, and reservations all throughout the world. We're going to be on his right hand. Why? Because the Most High desires us to be separate. And he's going to put the goats on his left hand. You understand? Who are the goats? I believe the goats are the children of Edom. Right? Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's the nation of Edom. I believe they're known as the goats in the Bible. All right, but again, don't quote me on that. Right? It says, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand. And that's what's important. That's what we're highlighting in today's class. Understand that segregation is good for us. Separation is good for us. Understand? We're not meant to be joined hand in hand with all these different nations of people. This war is a beautiful thing for us. Seeing the destruction of the people that destroyed us is a beautiful thing. Doug Ford wants to send prayers to his family, no sweat. If you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American, send prayers to your family. Understand? Pray for your loved ones. Understand? Matter of fact, let's grab that last verse. Let's grab that verse, see if I can find it, and then we'll, because of the time, we'll end the class. It's in the book of Baruch. Yeah, let's go to the book of Baruch. Let's see if I can pull that up. Baruch chapter 4. And 3. Might be 3 and 4. Yeah, let's go right here. Because this is what Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans need to focus on. Right? This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, O Lord Almighty, thou God of Israel, the power of Israel, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It says, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children. Right? What did Doug Ford say? He said we need to pray for the for those Jewish people over in Israel. That's whose prayers Doug Ford is for. The Russians are praying to God for the Russians. The Ukrainians are praying to God for the Ukrainians. Right? The Palestinians, they're praying to Allah for their enemies' destruction. What do Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans need to do? We need to pray for our ancestors. Right? We need to think about our ancestors who were in slavery, right? Getting hung off trees and fed to pigs. Our ancestors had a rope around their neck, strung up on a tree, set on fire, while pigs were just left to feed off our flesh. That's who I'm praying for. Most High says, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites. That's who I'm praying for. I'm praying for my ancestors. Because that's what these disgusting oppressors did to my family. You're the terrorist. You're the virus on the earth. You are the one who is terrorizing my family. I'm praying to the Most High for your destruction. That's what every Black, Hispanic, and Native American needs to do. See, you can't send your prayers to the Most High for that Jewish man in Israel. Because doing that is showing hatred towards your people. That imposter's over in that land pretending to be you. Meanwhile, you don't have a land of your own. You see, with his destruction comes your peace, comes your kingdom, comes your rulership. That's who we need to give our prayers for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, so with that said, we're over the time. All right, we're going to end Wednesday night's law class. All right, let's clap it up. All right, so to that, Toronto, Thawada for tuning in. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit those sign-in links if you want to join our school. All right, make sure you hit those sign-in links and sign out. I'll put the sign-out links in the chat right before I close the stream. All right, and keep tuning in. All right, with that, I say shalom, Toronto, and shalom, Israel.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that. Let Mike on be. Boy, ass she to stop it, ass she to prop. It's about to get serious. Go ahead. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I tell you once, won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up for parole. Because of the COVID, it feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Know it's gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just